because the niche might be the same. The point of view could even be similar if you are in that niche. And I was just wondering, does it then fall back on ethics?
Could. Okay. Yeah. So the question. There's a lot of people who do what you do. So maybe, you start off, you're the only yoga teacher in town. Hooray! It's great, I'm the only yoga teacher in town. There's the second one. Who the fuck is this? And then there's more, and suddenly everybody's a yoga teacher. And the schools keep pumping out more yoga teachers all the time. And now there's a glut of whatever it is. And you may be noticing this in your own fields. Those schools you weren't the last cohort to go through the training, they keep coming. So, imagine this scenario, right? Your ideal client's on Island A. They're so tired of being on Island A. They want to get to Island B, and finally, they hit the breaking point. I'm going to handle this. And they wander down to the harbor, and they say, are there any boats to go to Island B? And they gesture at 10,000 boats. That's the situation, and people are just like, oh no, how do I choose? Well, in this metaphor, first of all, this journey itself, it's not all the boats. Okay, there's another 100,000 boats down there. That's an obscene number. So, anyways, there's like 100 boats to go to Island B. But there's another 1,000 boats that don't go there. Okay, so it's only 10% of the boats go to that place. But you still got to whittle it down. But then, who's the captain? That sometimes, it's just like, look, we all do basically the same thing, but go with who you resonate with. This is me. This is my personality. Isn't that true that sometimes you get a yoga teacher? It's like your yoga's not better. It might even be slightly shittier. But I like you more. I like your vibe. I go to this restaurant because the staff are so nice and the food isn't even as good as this other place, but I like so it could be who you are as a captain. Yeah, it could be just the vibe of the boat. It could be your point of view, the route that you take. All those. But here's another way to look at it. If you make a Venn diagram, God, I can never do this with, how does this work? Okay. 6 circles. Just pretend that's a good thing. Okay, so you've got who, what, where, when, why, and how. This is the old journalistic convention, yeah? Just something has to be unique. Something has to be different there. Because if all of it's the same, here's what will happen. They'll say, who's cheapest? As I would. Why pay more? You all do the same thing? You're cheaper? Great, I'll go with you. So we want to avoid that being commoditized, that they just think we're all the same. So who, what, where, when, why. So the difference could be who you reach. You say, yes, a lot of us do this. For example, there's a guy, Tommy Rosen, does yoga, but he combined addiction recovery and yoga, right? So I work with addicts, recovering addicts around, with yoga around their recovery. There's a woman in Toronto, Tina Veer, has yoga for round bodies because she has a rounder body. And she'd go to yoga classes and the teachers had no idea how to adapt it for her or didn't even think about it. So all these side bends, forward bends, she couldn't do it. And it's like, if you just give me a bolster or a chair or a belt, I could do this. But anyway, so she started doing a class just for people with round bodies. And they love her. Can you imagine? You go to these classes and you always feel awkward and you don't look like the other people and the teachers don't know how to adapt it. So you're just having this experience. But then you go to a class, everybody kind of look like you and everything's adapted for you. And for the first time, it's like, oh, this is yoga. Wow, that's nice, right? So, but that's a who. There are people who do yoga for the Christian community, yoga for depression, yoga for anxiety, yoga for anger issues. Yeah, that's a very specific who. So it could be that. Could be what you do. But you're sort of suggesting the what is the same in a way. Like, oh, lots of people with that same boat. But where you do it. Sometimes it's that. Oh yeah, lots of people teach nonviolent communication, but I'm the only one who does it in this area. It may be that. That's where the local thing comes in. Because you can find a lot on the internet, but I do it here. Or I do it in this neighborhood. When? You've been to music festivals, most of you, yeah. So this is probably a familiar experience. It's 1 a.m. you're high on whatever you're high on, and you and it's cold. Now, you didn't quite dress for this when you came out, looking all great, but now it's getting chilly. The temperature has dropped, and you are hungry. The munchies have really hit. You know, the acid is kind of trailing off a bit, and you're feeling chilly and hungry. So that's your island A, right? And then you look, and you see the most glorious thing, accentuated by the LSD. Shawarma. You know what I'm saying? And you look at it like the promised land. And when you get it and you eat it, you're just thinking to yourself, this is the greatest idea I've ever had in my life. Oh God, you know, it's just, you're in heaven. Why did you get that shawarma? Because they were the only fucking thing open. These kind souls, these good Samaritans of the festival world, they're up with you till 4 a.m. serving this hot, greasy food that you need. Anyways, that's a niche just based on when, is what I'm saying. Yeah, we do yoga, but we do yoga classes from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. You know, for shift workers or this. Why? There's a great book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. If you just go on YouTube or Amazon, Simon Sinek, he wrote a book called, there's a great YouTube called How Great Leaders Inspire, which is 20 minutes and gives the essence of it. How Great Leaders Inspire. But he wrote a book, Start With Why, Find Your Why. And sometimes we spend money with businesses because of their why. Yes, it's a restaurant like every other restaurant, but they have a local food focus. I mean, does it taste so much better? I don't know, but I love what they're about. Yeah, it's a clothing company. There's lots of clothes, but they're so feminist. They've got this radical feminist take, and I love it. You get the idea. Sometimes it's just the overall purpose of the business. And otherwise it's identical to everyone else, but they're about something much bigger than them. And everybody sees it, and this means their clients are more loyal to them. They dicker on price less. They're much more forgiving because of that. And then there's the how. Now the how can be your aesthetic, your style, your delivery. It's your point of view as well. I had a colleague, Tammy Johnston, for the financial guides in Calgary, and her vibe is so, you think I swear a lot. She's like a trucker in these workshops. Because she was in the banking and financial industry and she saw the corruption, and she never stopped being mad about it. And she's just got an aggressive vibe, you know, but that's sort of how she does it. It's her style, is that kind of pugnacious, like, you know. And other people have a very, very gentle style. Or massage, you know. Some people, I have a friend in Edmonton who does shiatsu. I've known him for 20 years. I love this man to bits. But I never had a treatment from him. I said, man, it's time. I'm going to book a treatment. He said, that's so great. I lie down. And it's a 90-minute massage. And about 10 minutes in, I think, oh no. It's boring the shit out of me. Because he's just doing this, he's like pressing. At first I thought this was the foreplay. He's like getting my body ready. But it was the whole thing. It was just like, and then you sit back, just. It was killing me. I was more stressed by the end. It was like, oh, I love this man. I don't want to offend him, but it was just. I just knew I could talk to him about it, but I was like, this is just his style. I could have known by knowing him, but anyways, at the end I said thank you and I paid him, and I won't again. But so it's for me. It is not for me, that style. But for somebody who is extremely sensitive, that might have been the most amazing thing. Like, wow, it's so gentle. And I don't prefer that. So the how, you see what I'm saying? There are certain people I would absolutely send to him, even though it's not for me. I'd say, oh, I see, you're one of these, you're very fragile. You're very sensitive. This is the guy you want to see. Oh my God, he was the best. Yeah. So something about these has to be unique. That's all. And it's, again, another exercise that you can do is if you go to YouTube, just search Tad Hargrave positioning matrix. It's a conversation I had with a colleague, Danny Inney. And it's another way to do the same exercise. But basically, you're looking at the marketplace and just like, where do I fit? What's missing here? Is anything missing? Yeah. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.